to the Working with Schools 101 mini-series. My name is Andrea Hayfele, and I'm a health and physical education curriculum consultant at Ophea. Our vision at Ophea is that all kids in Ontario will value and enjoy the lifelong benefits of healthy, active living. And since 1921, yes, that's over 100 years, we've been supporting the health and learning of all kids in Ontario by working towards making school communities healthier, safer, and happier. So, what is a healthy school community? Well, it involves the whole community coming together to share ideas, plan, and also take action. A healthy school community is a place where students have fun, have choices, feel welcome and heard, feel supported and included, and feel valued and safe. A healthy school community involves organizations like yours, our listeners and viewers. And that is why the goal of the mini-series is to enhance the capacity of community organizations to connect and work with schools. This is episode 1, Getting Started, Entry Points and Logistics. I'm very excited to have 2 Ontario teachers with me today. Both educators have experience working with sport and also physical activity organizations in their school communities. Welcome, Andrea and Robin. Thank you for joining me today. Andrea, would you like to introduce yourself?
Thank you. My name is Andrea Barrow, and I've been teaching health and physical education at the secondary level for over 15 years. I'm currently the Equity and Inclusion Consultant with the Limestone District School Board in Kingston, Ontario. I'm also an Ophea ambassador and a member of Ophea's Safety Injury Prevention Advisory Committee in connection with the Ontario Physical Activity Safety Standards and Education. I'm happy to be part of the discussion today.
Awesome. Welcome, Andrea. I'm going to get used to saying your name. We have the same name. Robin, I'm going to pass it to you. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm an education and community partnership program teacher with the Near North District School Board. So I work with youth that require more intensive mental health supports than are available in traditional classroom settings in beautiful Parry Sound, Ontario. I'm also an Ophea ambassador and an Ophea educator in action. Thanks so much for having me today, Andrea.
All right, let's get into it. Here's our first question that we will be discussing. As a health and physical education teacher, you are responsible for using inclusive instructional strategies to help every student achieve the curriculum expectations. Robin, I know that in your program, you offer many unique opportunities for students to try new activities and games that they may not typically have experiences in. I was wondering if you can speak a little bit about your health and physical education program and what you take into consideration when deciding which community organizations you want to work with.
Yeah, great question. For me, it's really important that the students remain at the center of what I'm teaching. So there's no doubt that the curriculum gives us as teachers a really clear outline of what we need to cover in regards to the expectations, but the curriculum also provides opportunities for students to demonstrate their knowledge and understanding of the skills, concepts, and strategies in a variety of ways. So when I say my students have to be at the center of what I'm teaching, what I mean is they need to see themselves reflected back. It needs to be culturally relevant, interesting to them, and fit within their values. Do we need to teach sending and receiving objects in different ways? Absolutely. Does it have to be done in baseball or traditional sport? Definitely not. It could be soccer, it could be football, but it could also be cricket. It could be CPAC TACRA. I start by looking at where student interests are and what is relevant for them. Then I use that as a beacon to guide how I think about community organization involvement. Inevitably, I can't fill every knowledge gap. So I look to those that can help me to ensure all my learners feel themselves reflected in the fabric of our learning. Community organizations can be a huge part of this for my students, as they may not have had the same exposure or access to different ways of being physically active due to their mental health needs. By engaging in community partnerships, I'm able to not only teach students curriculum, I'm also able to provide the foundation for engagement and involvement in an organization or an activity that can help provide a sense of belonging, ownership, value, and self-worth for students. Ultimately, it's about providing for learners the opportunity to build positive community engagement through healthy physical activities that they may not have even known existed.
Thanks so much, Robin. I really like the alignment with how you ensure that the curriculum aligns with what the students' choice and voice and interests are. I also love how you connect with community organizations to enhance what you are already doing in the curriculum in health and physical education. Andrea, I was wondering if you can provide some background on your school community and your health and physical education program. What do you take into consideration when deciding which community organizations you want to work with?
So as Robin mentioned in her response, representation matters. Our students want to see themselves in the curriculum and need to be part of the planning process to ensure we are practicing culturally relevant and responsive pedagogy. Being located in Kingston, Ontario means that we're not a very diverse community, with 84% of the residents being white. Approximately 75% of our students are white. However, we do have some schools in our board that are more diverse communities because of the programs that they offer for newcomer students and their families. It's important for all students to be provided with an opportunity to see themselves in the curriculum, and we must find ways to celebrate their identity and culture. In my role at the Limestone District School Board, we tend to reach out to organizations that the students have expressed an interest in, but we also connect with other organizations to provide our students with new experiences. We also consider organizations that are open to all genders, as every student has the right to participate regardless of gender. We also carefully examine the goals and mission statements of each organization to ensure their values align with the goals and priorities of our schools and school board.
Thanks so much, Andrea. And I really like how you mentioned that last nugget with us right now, and just ensuring that the organizations have that at the upfront and are very transparent with what their goals and responsibilities are when working with schools. I also love how you ensured that, once again, just like what Robin was saying, ensuring that we align the students' interest with what we are trying to teach in the curriculum, and also ensuring that the organizations represent that. So thanks so much. So let's move on to our second question. Community partners are an important resource for a school's health and physical education program. Relationships with public health units, community recreation facilities, community mental health organizations, social services agencies, and other organizations can provide a valuable support and enrichment for student learning. These organizations can provide expertise, skills, materials, and programs that are not available through the school or that supplement those that are. Andrea, I'm going to start off with you. Can you share some logistical considerations for community organizations who want to work with schools?
Sure. When connecting with community partners, we look for a couple of things. First, we determine how the content provided connects with our curriculum and work with the partner to make sure that we meet the overall expectations of the course we are trying to connect them with. It's not unusual for educators to want to review all the content prior to being brought into the classroom space. It is completely normal for educators to vet the content and organizations in advance. The lived experiences of our students vary greatly, and educators need to know in advance what is being taught so that we can bring students are being taught in the space, so we can bring our students safely in and safely out of potentially challenging content. For example, if an organization is providing mental health lessons and or workshops, we want to make sure that we have additional support in place for any student who may need or want assistance. If we are asking a lot of questions, it means we are trying to prepare and protect our students. We also consider if the services provided are accessible to all of our students. Many community partners provide great programming that can supplement curriculum and or provide students with programming outside of the school day. However, we are cautious of organizations with excessively long wait times or additional costs for services. We look for referral services that are easy to use and easy to access for our school communities. We do value the relationships we have built with our public health nurses, municipal recreation facilities, and organizations that provide programming to all students with no participation limitations based on income.
Thanks so much for sharing that last bit in regards to income and also financial constraints that might be a barrier for many of our families in our school communities. I love that word accessible, and really ensuring that the organizations we work with, the activities, the programs, the resources have low wait times, no wait times, low cost, because we really want these students and their families and caregivers to access these organizations outside of the school setting. So thanks so much for that. Robin, I was wondering if you can share some logistical considerations for community organizations who want to work with schools.
Absolutely. So this is a real backward by design kind of thing for me. I always start my work when I involve a community organization with the end in mind. It can be really hard to connect and establish those relationships when they're new because our work days and those of the organization often overlap. And if you really want to have a healthy reciprocal relationship to, say, support outdoor experiential education in the winter, you have to start early, maybe even in June of the prior school year. So it's not really the kind of thing you can toss together, but I will say that every ounce of work that goes in pays in spades for these. Not only will community organizations support and augment the school community, they also better support students as they provide a wider social safety net for students. It can mean other places and other adults supporting learners and more opportunities for students to engage with their community outside of school. Not only is this good for the student and the organization, it's better for the community as a whole. I'll use a personal example here. In my home community, we're really lucky that we have access to outdoor nature and absolutely phenomenal outdoor activities during the winter season. Our outdoor activity center also has youth programming through the winter. However, many of the students in my school and my program specifically don't even know the center exists, let alone that they offer support for youth to engage in their programming. Many have never even tried the activities the center offers, like skiing, snowshoeing, or orienteering. So in order to make it happen for my students, I worked with a funding organization to get a grant to cover our students' transport and the purchase of some equipment. Then I connected with our activity center to support some planned outdoor education field trips in snowshoeing, Nordic skiing, and orienteering. The grant process can be long, and it often requires clear, open communication with administration, but it is so worth it. Many students had never had the chance to get outside in these ways before, and it brought our youth an opportunity to engage in healthy physical activity. It brought our funder positive exposure and advertising within our community, and it brought the activity center new interest and engagement from future members. So really, it's a win for all. But it doesn't have to be as huge as this right off the hop. Consider taking the time to learn how a school schedule works. Some schools provide opportunities to work with organizations during the school day, such as during lunch hour. As a community organization, offer your expertise to adapt to the school schedule, to get to know the school community, and build a relationship with school staff and students as well. Any opportunity that comes with financial support for coaching or mentorship, transportation if required, or equipment is huge. Opportunities that can be provided without requiring students to pay additional fees are so appreciated and ultimately get better received at the school level.
Thanks so much, Robin, for sharing the examples of how the community organizations you work with provide opportunities for your students to access activities that may typically not have access to. So for community organizations out there, it's really important to remember that all communities are unique, and there are multiple entry points for you to support them, whether it's within the curriculum during health and physical education class, providing extracurricular activities such as intramurals, or even using the school facilities after school to provide a program for students, families, and also their caregivers. Let's get into our last question. Students learning in health and physical education and across the school day can help them make informed decisions about aspects of their health and well-being, along with encouraging them to lead healthy, active lives. Andrea and Robin, can you both share one or two key things that community organizations, especially those that are new to working with schools, may not be aware of that would be key to their success in working with schools? Andrea, I'm going to start with you.
Schools are always interested in working alongside with community organizations as it provides opportunities for students to experience activities they may not experience in their classroom with industry leaders. To be successful, community organizations need to make contact early, as Robin has mentioned before, to provide the educators time to prepare, and the organization needs to become familiar with the Ontario Physical Activity Safety Standards in Education. All health and physical education teachers are to follow the safety standards to ensure the safety of all students. These standards can be found on the Ontario Physical Activity Safety Standards in Education website. You can search by sport, elementary or secondary, curricular, interschool, and intramurals. On these pages, you will find information regarding the equipment, clothing, footwear, facility, special rules and instructions, supervision, and first aid considerations and requirements. Being aware of these standards will allow the community organization time to make sure all safety standards can be met and or to make times to make the necessary changes prior to going into the school. In secondary schools, try contacting the physical activity specialist for the board, or also try contacting the health and physical department head directly at the school. Be considerate of fees that could be charged to the students. Schools work with a limited budget and try to avoid charging students extra fees to participate in curricular activities. All activities should be accessible financially for all students and physically have multiple entry points.
Thanks so much. And I really like how you loop back into ensuring that it's accessible and just sharing that finances can be a strain for many students and their families and caregivers. I also really liked how you touched upon the Ontario Physical Activity Safety Standards in Education and ensuring that organizations are in the know of what this is and how this can make their programs and activities more accessible for the families and the schools that they work with. Robin, I'm going to give it to you now. I was wondering if you can also share one or two key things that community organizations may not be aware of that would be key to their success in working with schools.
Yeah. So I think this has been said before, but really start small, start early. Connecting over the summer or in that last week of August can be really fruitful because that way not all the balls are in the air already for the school year. I would also say check out school social media or with academic leaders within the building. Principals have so much come across their desks. Things understandably get missed, but if you can go straight to the source you're looking for, it pays. If it's grade 4, connect with the grade 4 teacher directly. Remember that although permission may have to go through the school board, teachers often have a good handle on how to navigate that and can help you. Each school board is different. There may be a school board contact or a process for vetting organizations, but again, each teacher will know that. So just ask them. That said, September and June are really busy months, but often something that can support student learning in a new or a different way is appreciated when it's timed right. For example, once the ball is rolling in November or in February or March, once the dust has settled after winter break. Those are all really great times.
Thanks so much, Robin. And these timelines that you were sharing, again, are unique to different school communities and also highlighting that all school communities have very busy times and not so busy times. And it's really important for community organizations to be aware of that, just to help them ensure that they are building those relationships and being aware that they are also valuing the teachers and the school's time. Thanks so much, Robin and Andrea, for sharing your experiences and perspectives when working with community organizations. It's so great to hear the collaboration between the school and community organizations you've both built relationships with and how it provides students with additional physical activity opportunities, both curricular and also extracurricular, and how it aligns with the health and physical education curriculum, ministry, and also school board policies. So to anyone who is listening or watching, thanks so much for tuning in, and go check out episode 2, What's Working, Hearing from Organizations.